Hi. Oh, do I not have a voice today? Is it because I sang one karaoke song last night? Possibly. Yeah, possibly. So, I was on a train for a long time this past weekend. How many hours was I on a train? 14 hours, I think, there and back. And I spent basically the entire time listening to fat positive, body positive audiobooks. Both were written by blonde white women, or I think one of them is not a natural blonde, or maybe neither of them are. I'm pretty sure Lindy West is a natural blonde. Anyway, the point of that statement was to say both of them were written by super white women, but a lot of what they talked about resonated with me, especially in some of their experiences with dating. And honestly, it's really been caught in my head the last few days because Lindy West, so she wrote this book called Shrill. It's tagline is a loud woman's, oh man, let me look it up. But from the title, you can't really tell actually that it's about body positivity. It might just be about feminism. So it's Shrill, Notes from a Loud Woman. Right, so when you read that and you see this blonde woman on the cover, you're like, okay, well, this is going to be some kind of white feminist stuff that I don't really typically like to consume that. The internet kind of forces me to consume that because I subscribe to enough super liberal spaces, news articles, or even just Tumblrs that I follow, not that I'm really on Tumblr, or you know what I mean, I'm part of enough spaces that I already get to experience white feminism all the time because it's it's in those spaces, and you just kind of have to parse through it. And the same with anything, the way that we consume media. This conversation about biased media is just so heightened right now, right, because of all the Trump stuff. But we've always, you as a consumer, and me as a consumer, we've always had the responsibility to parse through our media and read through the lines and pick what makes the most sense to us. I don't know, I feel that's the responsibility of the consumer because of course the media is biased. Everything is biased. Our political system is biased. Our immigration system is broken. Our criminal justice system is broken, and a big reason for that is because it's so biased. So this idea that we should somehow our not just our criminal justice system, our justice system in this country, this is supposed to be the nonpartisan part of our democracy. That is super, 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 super biased. That's why we're all oh shit, we're screwed because of the Brett Kavanaugh nomination for SCOTUS. So it's just why are we acting it's this big issue that the media is biased? We know that the media is biased. That's why you pick and choose your media. I don't know. I don't want alternative facts being thrown at me, but I'm aware that anything I'm going to be reading is going to have a slant and ulterior agenda, and that's anything that I'm reading. That's not, I don't know. And I get it, it can be aggravating, and that's why you, choose what you want to consume. If I think that Huffington Post is, a little bit too left-leaning, and I feel I'm not getting that middle-of-the-road perspective that I really like, maybe I'll choose to do more New York Times or The Atlantic, which I know is still left, but like maybe I'll balance that out with The Economist or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That was like weird tangent. But anyway, so I've been like listening to these white women for 14 hours this past weekend. And Lindy West is fairly well known, and she's hilarious. Like, just flat out, if you're interested in a good read, like, or a good time, not that I read this, I did the audiobook, but if you want to listen to that, like, really, I would recommend this. The other person, let me find it. I think their name is Jess something. Let's see. One of the books is called Land Whale, and it's like a reclamation of that term. Jess Baker. So she is not like trying to be kind. It's not like she's a bad writer or anything. She's just not a writer. Like, I don't think that's what she's been doing for years and years, like Lindy West, who is a writer by trade. So it's just different. Lindy's book is like much more polished, and if you want to like experience good writing, like she's also offering that. Like she really knows how to turn a phrase, and some of the ways that she says things, even though she's often speaking from a personal place, and it's like it's definitely a memoir of sorts. It's just some of the things she says are really profound, especially in the ways that she talks about comedy and the debate around free speech and comedy in terms of like saying those offensive jokes, like rape jokes and that kind of a thing. I don't know. I really, really, really like the way that she phrased a lot of what she was talking about, and like, so just like props for like a really great book. Like, it's all together, I think, a really good book. So Land Whale, and then the other one, what was the other one called? Let's just look up Jess Baker. Land Whale and oh yeah, Things No One Will Tell Fat Girls are both fairly easy to listen to audiobooks, and if you're already like into body positivity stuff, like they're definitely like easy reads, I think. And the author reads it in both books. I don't know if I agree with some of her perspective. So the problem, and I like don't like saying this because it's like buying into men's rights activist bullshit or something, but she talks about some of her experiences in a way that feels a little bit grandiose, or it feels like I'm not sure if I trust her perspective on certain things. Like, it feels like she's like acknowledging, like, oh yeah, I'm privileged in this and this way, but just like having that itch of being a woman of color, who is also a fat woman who, like, it's like certain things she says, like, doesn't feel exactly right to me. It's like, I like wish I had some examples, but you should listen to it and then let me know. But anyway, so the point that I was trying to get to is that, like, I've had like a very body positive centric, I guess, white woman, albeit last few days, just because I was listening to all this stuff, and I was kind of just like, how is it that these women who are really successful, and like Lindy West is very successful, how is it that these women who are so successful have almost no examples of having healthy relationships in their life? And like, both of them have been treated completely unworthy, and like the secret girlfriend, like the secret fat girlfriend and all of that. I think that, like, I've talked about this on this channel before. So I'm not big fat or whatever. I guess I'm small fat. I'm like in between straight and plus sizes. I can wear a size 12 in a lot of things. I can also wear a size 16 in some things. Sizes don't matter. But I can shop at Torrid, but I can also shop in a lot of straight size stores. Not all of them, but I can shop in a lot of straight size stores. And for most of my life, I've been able to shop in straight size. Like, there have been times when, like, I think when my weight, like, when I first came on the channel, my weight was about 10 pounds higher than it is now. I mean, I don't even know how much I weigh right now, but I think that's about right. So whenever I creep, like, closer to 200 pounds, that's when it becomes like, oh, I don't even know if I can really shop in the straight size store. But then also, like, since I've been alive, like, I'm almost 30, right? And, like, since I've been shopping in my life, like, stores have increasingly carried sizes that include me, because I think I'm, like, maybe I'm, like, the size of the average American woman. I think I pretty much am. Like, I think, like, I'm, like, a little bit taller, but I'm pretty much, like, the same height and the same weight. Maybe, probably the average American woman, like, weighs a little bit less than me. I weigh right now around 180, 182 or something. So probably the average American woman weighs around 165 or 170. I mean, that's another thing I can just Google. I'm sure that whatever statistic is coming up is, like, not the end all be all. It's funny that, like, this is, like, the top search, that people aren't looking for. Anyway. Okay, so American woman aged 20 years and above weigh an average of 168.5 pounds. Height-wise is 5 feet 4 inches. And her waist is 38.1 inches. So, that's interesting. Oh, because I guess, like, different shaped people. So that's according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I mean, this is just, like, on Google, when you Google, so, like, I don't even know what this is. You know, like, what is this? But, okay, so I'm, like, 10 plus pounds, 15 pounds over the average, I guess. But I'm also a couple inches taller. I'm, like, 5 feet 6 inches. This is 5 foot 4. And my waist is smaller than that. My waist is probably... Well, it also depends on, like, where in the waist they're measuring. If it's, like, my natural waist, I believe, is, like, 33 inches or something. But my, like, where you would measure for jeans, like, your lower waist, I think is closer to 36. I mean, because I take between a size 12 and a 14, and I think a size 14 is typically 36 inches. And a size 12... there's another question. How many inches is a U.S.? And they're all different. Is a U.S. size 12? I was wrong. A 12 is, wait, inches, no. This is not. Yeah, right. So, waist for a 12 is between 32 to 34 inches, and for a 14 is 34 to 36 inches. So I think because jeans are, like, stretchy or something, like, I tend to... Oh, but this is saying... See, all of these are giving for ASOS, because ASOS runs small, actually. Well, no. Oh, sorry. For ASOS specifically, a size 12 is 34.5 inches, and a size 16 is 36.5 inches. So I take between a 12 and a 14. Like, it depends. Like, I think, I don't know. Recently I've been wearing a size 12. But it might be like one of those things where like I like pants that don't fit me. I like pants that are like a little bit snug, I think. Like I like to kind of show off my body, so maybe I am more solidly a size 14 because I think I'm closer to 36 inches down there. But my natural waist is smaller, so I don't know, whatever. That's just like an interesting measurement to me that like the average woman weighs, what was it? 168.5 pounds. Because honestly, I feel good when I'm 168.5 pounds. Like I feel like, I don't feel slim, but I feel like a good weight. And I feel like when I'm 168, I'm not a size 10. I'm still a size 12, but I am like on the lower end of a size 12. Like I am like, so that honestly like doesn't make sense for me, because how can you be 170 pounds and have a 38-inch waist? But I guess like maybe it's just like different body shapes or something. Oh my god, I just like, wow. See, this is like probably why people edit, like because I just like went into this like ridiculously long tangent about the average height and weight of an American woman and completely forgot what I was going to say. I think I was trying to point out that I'm like somewhere near the average. So even though I'm a fat woman, like I am an average sized fat woman. So as I have gotten fatter or as I've gotten older, stores just keep on carrying my size, because when I was like a junior size person, you know, the sizes that they went up to, I remember when size 9, because juniors is like odd numbers, I remember when size 9 was the biggest size that we could buy, and I would have to buy the biggest size in the juniors department, and that was like in grade school at some point. Maybe that was middle school. I think it was like 6th grade or something like that. And that was like really embarrassing. That it was like I had to like always like get the biggest size. But like now when I think of a size 9, like I'm like, that is not a big size, and how could that be the biggest size that they were offering? But it's just like because, and I also lived in the middle of nowhere, America, but we just like tend to offer bigger sizes now. And I know that the plus size community, and we should, you know, keeps on asking for more size inclusivity in these major big box stores, or the major department stores, or all the stores. Size inclusivity, along with any other kind of inclusivity, is like so important, especially because we keep on getting bigger, and you know, like why not sell to your consumers that want to buy from you? You know, it doesn't really make sense. So I'm not saying that like we've done a good job with size inclusivity, but from what I have observed in my life, as I have remained the average, or as the average kind of came closer to where I was at with my fatness, stores have become more and more inclusive of carrying my size. Like many stores carry a size 14. Not all. Like some stores only go up to a size 12. And when I'm in between sizes, if there's a store that only goes up to a size 12, I know, typically if there's a store that only goes up to a size 12, I know that that store probably also runs small with their sizing, because they're not really fat inclusive. I don't know. Like, it's not like, I don't think there's people, like, behind closed doors. Like, but maybe there are, because, like, that was the whole thing with Abercrombie and Fitch, or whatever. I'm not thinking that there are these, like, old crushy men behind closed doors being like, ha, like, we're gonna make the sizes extra small so nobody, like, over 160 pounds can even shop here. But like that's essentially what those stores do. So like I already know if they only carry up to a size 12, like I'm not even going to try to shop there, because their size 12 is probably too small for me. But then in stores that like carry up to a size like 18, I know that like maybe I'm like probably more likely to like fit into that size 12. Because that size 12 is probably bigger, because they're like thinking about differently sized female bodies. If that, like, even makes sense. I don't know. It also is really annoying that a size 12 at, like, ASOS is a completely different size 12 from H&M, which H&M runs very small, than Old Navy, or Torrid, which I feel like run bigger. I don't know. People have said different things about Torrid sizing. I think their jeggings, what I've noticed about Torrid is I think their jeggings run big, but like their regular jeans run like middle of the road. So if you buy a 12 in jeans at Torrid, they're gonna fit you like a 12 in like American Eagle or something like that. But if you buy a size, well, American Eagle is juniors. Let me think of something that's not. Like Ann Taylor Loft or something like that. They're going to be the same size, but if you buy a 12 in their jeggings, that jegging is going to fit a little bit more like a size 14 from Torrid. That is what I've noticed. What even is this video? Anyway, so clearly I've thought a lot about sizing and about this stuff. It was just sad to me to see Lady West, like, go through all this relationship bullshit. That, like, I mean, it's in her book, so I'm like, I feel like I'm, like, sharing her personal information, but it's in her book that she, you know, felt like she had to get an abortion. She didn't even want to tell her partner about it at the time because she was a secret girlfriend. And fat women aren't allowed to carry the babies of the people that they love. And that is, like, true. Like, that's been my experience too. Like, my experience, like, I feel like when I try to talk about this with people, they're like, well, you're like the size of like the average American woman, and like people call you beautiful all the time, and like, what are you even talking about? Like what are you doing? Like, why are you like trying to claim that you're part of this group that you're not a part of? And I'm like, well, I'm not just trying to do anything. I'm just, like, literally telling you my experiences. Like, I don't know. Like, am I just, like, the unluckiest person in the world that, like, I'm not fat? Like, I just, like, got it in my head that, like, I'm fat. And, like, nobody actually thinks I'm fat. Nobody actually wants me to be a secret girlfriend. Like, nobody actually, like, never wants to get married to me. They just, like, want to have sex with me on the side. Like, nobody actually, like, wants to lead me on and, like, make me feel like I'm special. But then, like, they, like, in their head, they, like, actually want to be with somebody who is healthier and thinner, and, like, I guess just that, because, like, in all honesty, like, I have a stable job, like, I mean, I'm gonna, like, list them, okay, like, I have a stable, like, I'm like, these are, like, not even things that, like, should or shouldn't be, like, the reasons why, like, somebody is not, like, marriage eligible, or something, but I'm like, I'm, like, a good person. Like, I do, like, tons of volunteer work. I have a stable job. I have a full, robust life with a community and friends. Like, I, like, go to, like, all these events and things. I have, like, pronounced and nuanced interest in, like, writing and certain, like, movies that I like to watch, and, like, hobbies around, like, creative spaces. And I, like, love to, like, go to shows and, like, go to museums and just, like, be in the world, and I'm, like, a fun person to be around. Everyone tells me that, like, people really like me, like, all of these things, like, I can, like, list, like, a ton of things that are, like, good things about me, but still, why is it that, like, I have been in good relationships, but why is it that, like, I've been told by probably at least 20 men in my life that, like, they wouldn't want to marry me, they wouldn't want to marry somebody like me, and that it has to do with my weight? Like, why would I be lying? Because I feel like that's what, like, people tell me. Like, people just don't get it. Like, they're, like, they act like I'm, like, making it up or something. And honestly, it's, like, infuriating to me, because I don't know if it's just that my other fat friends, like, don't want to talk about it, or maybe they navigate spaces differently so they don't run into these men to begin with or something. But, like, that has been my experience. Like, my entire life, like, since I was, like, 10. So, like, I know that I'm a small fat, and I know that I'm, like, the size of the average American woman, but, like, I resonate with their experiences, and I think it's really messed up that somebody who is successful, like, and I'm not, like, super well known or anything, but, like, I'm successful. Like, I am very successful. I have, like, multiple degrees, advanced degrees. Like, I mean, and yeah, I'm not like trying to brag or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, textbook, like, I'm like, I am successful. I am like smart. I am interesting. I'm fun. Like, I have a lot to offer. I'm ready. Like, I'm almost 30 and I'm ready to get married. I'm ready to have kids. Like, I'm ready for these things. And like, to see like somebody who's like way more successful than me and smarter than me, more eloquent than me, and whatever, like, have, until they're in their 30s, like, not have experienced actual love. Because I think that somebody telling you that they love you while hiding you behind a door and not like introducing you to their friends and not making excuses as to like why they don't want to like be seen with you, and like why they don't want to have kids with you, and why they don't want to marry you or whatever. People making excuses around those things, that's not love. Like, that's like something messed up. And I know that people, you know, like, love you as much as they can or in the way they can or whatever, but part of it is also bullshit, because what I've been told by one person, that same person will turn around and tell somebody who's thinner than me something completely different. And I know that, like, maybe it's like not just about my weight, like maybe it's about other things too, but like I've experienced things enough times that like I know that my weight heavily plays into the mistreatment that I have experienced by men. Heavily. And it is the primary reason for mistreatment that I have experienced by men. Like, I can hands down say that. And so, to see, like, somebody who is white, like, is not even, like, is, like, this white, blonde, beautiful woman, but also happens to be, like, a size 22, like, and is so successful, like, have the same kinds of dating experiences that I have, but, like, even, like, worse versions somehow, like, it just, like, honestly brings me to tears. Like, it's so messed up. Like, I'm not saying that, like, a non-white person deserves that more or something, but I'm just saying, like, that in the case of, like, these women, fatness, like, the other, like, barriers, the other reasons, the other possibilities, like, aren't even there. Like, it is the fatness, you know, like, direct line, it's the fatness, like, definitely. And I think that, like, I don't know why, as a society, we pretend that, like, that doesn't exist. And even, like, and I like to use the word fat, and it's a reclamation word for me. So it's not an insult when I say it, and, like, maybe I shouldn't use it to describe friends, so maybe that's not appropriate. But I feel like when other people in my life who also describe themselves as fat, or who have body issues, like, when other people in my life, like, want to, like, hide that, like, we don't talk openly about this, and, like, I don't know why. Like, this is, like, a real issue. Like, and just because, like, technically I'm fat by choice, like, which is the most ridiculous thing to even say. Like, it's not a choice. Like, it's, like, pattern behavior that is developed out of trauma and, like, various coping mechanisms and, like, a myriad of, like, circumstances that just, like, happen. When we like don't take fat on as a feminist issue, when we don't take it on, when we skirt around it in spaces, because I'm in so many advocacy spaces all the time, and we don't talk about it, that, honestly, that just pisses me off. And when people tell me that I'm not fat and that I don't have anything to talk about, that, like, pisses me off worst of all, because of how many times I've been treated like crap in my life, and it's been directly linked to my weight. And I'm like, am I just supposed to, like, pretend? Like, why are we pretending like this isn't happening? Anyway, so that was, like, a really long ramble, but if you, like, stayed for it, then thanks for being there for me, and I'll talk